Good morning. Today is the 28th of February, about 10:35 a.m. here in New York, and we will be starting our first session of the March batch of Selenium automated testing. First of all, I want to welcome you all. Thank you for being here. It's a good Saturday morning here in New York, and the weather is going to be getting better, so we'll be looking forward to being with you for the next 4 weeks. The way we're going to be running this course is it's going to start as you all see from today, and we'll be running it for 4 weeks. So we will be meeting on Saturdays and Sundays. So it's going to be 10:30 a.m. In the morning, New York time, to 12:30 in the afternoon, and we will be meeting for 4 weeks. Now, we will try to keep the schedule, but just in case if something comes up, there is always a possibility that we might not be able to do a session, so I would let you guys know about it in advance. So the way we are going to be running this course is it is online, but it is being recorded. So if for any reason, if you cannot make it to the class, that is not a problem, because this session is being recorded right now, and we will be uploading the recording to your screencast account. I am looking forward to teaching you enough of Selenium so that you would be able to handle almost anything that is thrown your way. Now, this training is going to be pretty intense, meaning I'm going to keep you on your toes for the next 4 weeks. It is not a slow or even a medium paced. It is going to be a high paced training, particularly this one, only because we have some corporate people that we are training, and as well as usually on the weekend courses we are trying to cover as much as we can. The only reason being, people are much relaxed compared to if you're doing a weekday course, and that happens in the evenings, and people are already tired, working all day, and then the next day they have to go back to work. So what our research have shown is people are much more willing to learn on weekends. So this is going to be a pretty good fit for everyone. Okay, what are we going to be covering in the next 4 weeks? There is going to be a lot of coding. Again, I'm repeating myself. The reason for that is this is an automated testing course. It's for software test engineers who are going to automate or who are going to build frameworks. Now, in order for you to build frameworks, you have to know how to code, how to write the code. And the language that we'll be using is Java, because this is a Java, Selenium with Java. Now, for those of you who would like to take the other one, Selenium with C#, that again is being offered in few weeks. So you could always come back and then take that course if there is a need for you to do that. Now, that's a separate course wherein we will be focusing more on C#.NET. In this particular course, we are focusing more on Java, because this is Selenium with Java. Okay, so the tools are going to be different. Therein we will be using something called Visual Studio, an NUnit in C#, but here we'll be using Eclipse as the tool to write your code, and the language would be Java. So the way I want you to participate in this course is make it interactive. Don't let me do all the talking. If you have any questions, feel free to stop me and ask me those questions. The way you can interact with me while I'm presenting is one of the two ways. You could either type your message in that chat window all the way in the bottom of your control panel, or you could click on that little icon, which is sort of like raising a hand, and when you do that, it flashes next to your name, and I know that you needs some attention, and then I will either finish my thought or interrupt myself, and then try and find out like what you are looking for. So keep it interactive. So that's what we expect you to do. Ask questions. Don't just sit there and then take it the way we are presenting. So make it interactive, make it interesting. Now there are going to be 8 classes, so 8 assignments. We'll be giving you 8 assignments. What are these assignments for? Why are we giving out these assignments? Well, first thing that I want to say through these assignments is if you complete these 8 assignments, right? If you complete them and if you submit them, and I'll show you at the end of the course where you have to submit these assignments and what are the assignments. If you complete and if you submit it to us, then expect that majority of your interview questions, if you're on the lookout for a job, if you're applying, you will see that most of the interview questions get answered through these assignments, because I will be sort of like challenging you in these assignments. I'll be asking you to build certain scripts, and while you are doing that, you're not only learning, but you are learning it in a way that you will be able to very easily answer majority of the interview questions when you go for the interviews. All right. Now, the other thing that these assignments are going to be doing is, if you're already on the job and if you're working on a project, by you doing these assignments, it is going to help you overcome some of the situations that you would face as a part of your working on the project. Because if you need to let's say create, just to give you an example, something called page objects, right? If your framework is going to be based on page objects, well, I will be explaining it to you, I will be showing it to you, and then I'll be giving you an assignment. If you can do it here, then the same thing you would be applying in your project as well. The only difference is going to be here, it's probably going to take about 2 to 3 hours for you to complete, and your project is your project. I mean, it might run for 6 months, 8 months, 10 months. So it all depends on what you learn and how you're going to be applying it. What we have seen in our 4 or 5 years of experience with this particular course, I started offering this course in the year 2010, I guess late of 2010, and since then we have trained a little over 3,000 students, all over U.S., and majority of them are working for big corporations, and they occasionally, are in touch, and then they mention that, the amount of topics that you have covered in this course, we hardly get to use all those advanced topics. So you have covered, so much in this course. So that is not, I mean, we are not trying to take credit for something, or we are not looking for any praises here. The intent here is to give you as much as we can in this 8 classes, so that you can call yourself almost an intermediate to sort of like an advanced level of Selenium, automated engineer. So that will not happen with all of you. Now, what do I mean by it? It's not going to happen to all of you. I mean, we are a little over a dozen students in this session right now, about 15 people. Now, out of 15 people, you might have about 10 who will get everything what we are trying to teach. The other 5, and I don't know who those other 5 or what those 10 people are, but generally what we notice is about 80% of the people get it because they put in some serious effort. The other 20% will, if you are attending a class right now, the next class is going to be, tomorrow. but then after that, the next class is going to be next Saturday. So there are going to be 7 days in between. And those 80% of the people who really want to make it happen, they will be still be in touch. Maybe they are doing some work, they are researching, they are downloading, they are playing with it. And 20% of them, they will just come back to the next class, which is the following Saturday after 7 days, without ever looking into anything. So if that's going to be the attitude, then I have to tell you that it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to master this, because you have to build a sort of a relationship with Selenium, meaning any relationship can be as good as the effort that you put into it. So I want you to put in some serious effort into learning this Selenium Java, and we will try to help you as much as we can in a couple of ways. Of course, number one, these live training sessions, you are with me. Number two, we give you the videos. So if you're already registered, then you know that we have shared some videos with you. And if you go to screencast, I will show it to you that we recently concluded a class, and I want to draw your attention to something through that class. So first of all, as you can see, we have been running so many batches in here for different courses and whatnot, right? So these are, every time we run a batch, we will record the videos and then we'll share the videos with you. So the last batch, if you look into Selenium, this is the last batch was, I think, January here, right? So, and I'm just picking up this last batch. It could be any batch you take. So there will be 8 videos in here, right? As you can see, day 1 through day 3, day 4, day 5, day 8, 8 videos. Now, if you look into the interest of the people, on day 1, about 170 people viewed this videos, and day 2, 42 people, day 3, 195 people, 111, 50, and as you can see, the interest sort of like goes down as we go deep into the course. Why is that? The reason for that is up to day 3, it is going to be sort of like easy stuff. Starting from day 4, it is going to become pretty intense, meaning that there's a lot of stuff that I will be covering and I'll be teaching. And believe it or not, one of the class, as you can see, this is the duration of the class, 2 hours, right? Hour 58, 2 hours, 2 hours 3 minutes, 2 hour 1 minute, and this is 2 hours 16 minutes. If you go down the last class, we did it for almost like 3.5 hours, right? So so much of stuff that I have covered in there. So things becomes a little bit advanced as we progress. So that probably is not for everyone. Now, why did I say it's not for everyone? The reason for that is if you do not have a proper background, the background is any coding, right? If you have done some coding, whatever it is, whether it is in C or C++ or VB script or Java or anything, any code if you have done in your previous life, then it becomes extremely interesting and easy for you to pick up, and then you want to learn more and more. Now, let's say if you have not done any coding, still it is not a problem. Why? Because we will be giving you some extra videos in here. As a matter of fact, if you see Selenium Java must-watch videos. So you should be going in here, and then you should be watching some of the videos from here, like Introduction to Java, right? Watch that video. It's about 25 minutes, right? Not much, 25 minutes, right? I want you to watch that video. And debugging Java code in Eclipse. Again, not much, 18 minutes. I want you to watch that. Likewise, we'll be giving you some videos which are, let's say, Java for testers. That's a separate course, Java for testers. I mean, if you go in here and if you look into our courses, this is Java for testers, and this is everything that you need to know as a Java, knowledge. But that's a separate course. But we are giving you some videos from that course so that you know the basic things that are needed. I will be covering all of these things in the class as well. But I strongly suggest that you should be watching these videos as well, because any programming, it doesn't really matter whether you are doing, let's say, whether you're doing Java or Groovy or VB script or any language. There are certain things that you have to know in a language. You have to know about what are variables, right? So what are variables? How do you create them? You have to have an idea of that. Since the programming language that we'll be using is Java, so we will be learning from Java's perspective how to create variables, how to use them, and how to make sure that we use them in our automated script. Then we will also be learning about arrays, right? What are arrays and how do you create them and how do you populate them with data and how do you extract data out of an array? So there are, two different types of an array. There's a single dimensional array, and then there is something called multiple dimensional array. Right? So we will be looking into things like that. So right now I'm just trying to give you a heads up of what is coming as a part of this course. So variables, arrays, then we will show you as how to write functions. Right? Now you know that no script will be complete without you writing some functions. So you have to know as how to write functions. Now, these things in the beginning, these things are going to be a little bit challenging. Again, that goes for everything in life. I keep giving this example all the time, like because we could relate to it. How about driving? I mean, today we take driving for granted because you probably are in your 30s or in your 40s, and you have been driving for past like 10-15 years. If there are some new drivers, they still have been driving for like few years, right? Now imagine your day one, going back to when you started to begin to learn to drive. I mean, you were afraid of everything. You were afraid of like turning to the left, turning to the right. You were looking all over. Then when you're starting your ignition, you don't know where the things goes. What is a brake? What is an accelerator? And God forbid if you have a manual car. I mean, here in the United States, these are all automatic, transmissions. But back in our country, and I originally come from India, we have all manual cars. I mean, so you have to change gears. So I remember when I was learning, when I was 19 years old, I used to look at the gear, and my father, he said, no, never take off your eyes from the road. And but that's how I was. But today, do you look at the gear? Do you look at the accelerator? Do you look at the brakes? We don't, right? Because it comes as natural as it can be, because we have been doing it. So the same thing applies in here. In the beginning, you will be a little bit challenging yourself when it comes to writing functions, but there will come a time in life after maybe 30 days, 40 days of writing functions, this will become almost a part of your life if you want to remain as a Selenium guy. Okay, so variables, arrays, functions. Then we'll be looking into things like conditional logic. Now, what is conditional logic? Any programming, I mean, language, whether it is Java or any language, there is conditional logic. Now, conditional logic is a part of human behavior. You and I, we go through conditional logic every second of our life, right? That's how we think as human beings. We think. Now, to give you an example, if we, I mean, don't get offended. I can talk only about myself, and when we go out, let's say, with your friends and whatnot, when you're sitting in a restaurant, when you're looking into something, and imagine that this is like an high-end restaurant. Chances are the food is not going to be any different like from anything at the other place, but the prices are like crazy expensive. They're exuberant. Like the prices are going to be like if you take a coffee, it's going to cost you about almost like $10. When you could get a coffee at Starbucks for like $3. So you're looking at only because you're sitting at, so the conditional logic, the logic of your of depending on who you are is when you look at that price sheet, you're like, maybe I'm going to skip my coffee right now, right? Because your mind is tuned to that, because you see that, okay, how much do I make? Probably you make around $100,000 and you don't want to spend, $10 on a coffee. But let's say if you are making $500,000 a year, would you care about that? So your mind quickly, analyzes 100 different things and then comes up with a logic, with a decision based on your logic that yes, you're going to buy it, or no, you're not going to buy it, right? I mean, I gave you a very silly example. You could extend it to anything. Talk about cars. I mean, coffee was like a silly example. Talk about cars. I mean, there was a time in my life I was not able to afford even a $10,000 car, right? Today, I mean, I have, I'm not trying to boast, but I have 5 cars, right? Because that's what I like and that's what I can afford, right? So my logic at that time, 15 years ago, was no, you're not spending anything more than 5,000 or 10,000 max. Today, I don't care if it is like a $60,000 car, I will get it, right? Because, I have come to that point in my life that I could do certain things. So conditional logic is also dependent. It is about your ability to think, meaning ability to think would come with if, right? So if some condition is true, right? So if a condition is true, then you want to do this. Then you want to do what? Whatever you want to do, right? So if the number of rows, are hang on for a second, I just got to move this box. There's so many boxes that you cannot see, but I have to keep them open to see if you have any questions or something. So I got to move those boxes. And trust me, I am not trying to ignore your questions when you type. Just looking for the right moment to answer them. So let me just finish this thought and then get back to what you have to say here, what you're asking. So if the number of rows, right, is greater than 0, that means that there are some rows, right? Then you want to do this. Sometimes, there is nothing, right? There is no number of rows. Then, so this number of rows could be the result that is showing up in a table. So when you do a search and then in the result you have like products. So this is one row, this is second row, this is third row, this is fourth row. So if the results is 0, there is nothing in here, then you don't even want to go and read anything. If there is more than 0, that is, even if there is 1 and you have details here, like what is the item description, what is the part number for that item, what is the price for that item, you want to read all that in your code. Now, I'm just talking about this. I'm not trying to give you any code right now, but just trying to give you some examples, like what are the things that we'll be covering. So variables would be something, arrays would be something, functions would be something, conditional logic, and then sometimes you got to keep doing some, whatever action that you are performing, you got to keep doing it for, more time, lot of time, right? So at that time you have to look into something called looping. So there is for loop. So you have to look into how to write for loop and stuff like that. Okay, so these are the most important things when it comes to coding. Now, the code that I will be creating, or I will be building, or I will be writing in front of you, this code, you will take it away at the end of the course. This is what you're going to be getting, and you can use this code in any of your projects. There are going to be some slight modifications that you have to do, and once you do those modifications, then you could pretty much use this code in any project. So we will be creating some excellent code by the end of this course. If not for anything, you can take the code that I will be creating in here, and then you could be putting that code to use not in your current existing project, but all your future projects, because we will be creating a code in such a manner that it needs very little modifications. So all that we will be doing as a part of this course is learning as how to create what is called frameworks, right? Now, the framework that we'll be creating will be doing in such a way that it becomes, majority of the times, it becomes reusable. The framework will be sort of like built in such a way that it becomes reusable with certain modifications that you have to do, and it is scalable. Scalable is the ability to grow with your application. So if your application keeps growing, let's say the current functionality of your application requires you to test, let's say 30 different modules, right? Login or authentication and authorization being one module. Searching the catalog is one module. Shopping cart is another module. The end-to-end testing of a shopping cart would require you to do certain things like search for a product, and then add that product to a shopping cart, and then go and then modify that shopping cart, and then go through the checkout process. And in the checkout process, you have to go through the processing of the credit card, and then you have to go through the shipping process. So all that will be a part of our test cases. So we will be building a framework that down the road, if we add more functionality to it. Scalability. Scalability is, let's say today, the trucks are going to come and then deliver your parts. Very soon in life, in our lives, I mean, in the next 2, 3, 4 years, there is not going to be a human at your door who would be delivering your packet. It's going to be a drone coming and then dropping off, right? So how are you going to be incorporating that piece of software into your application, so that your application currently doesn't deal with drones. So down the road, that will be added to it. So your test should also be able to handle that extra functionality. So our framework will be written in such a way that we can scale along with the application. So that's your scalability. Then we will do it in such a way that it is easy to maintain. So the maintenance becomes extremely easy if you follow the way I advise and I suggest you to build your frameworks. All right. With that said, let me see if you have any particular questions. All right. The timings of your class, I am very flexible with the timings. So if you want to change the timings, I am open to it. Now, if you want to keep it at 11 a.m. Starting from the next class, starting from tomorrow, I am fine with it. If you want to change that, so today being day one, I think there was a slight confusion between the Central Standard Time and the Eastern Standard Time. The person who created this seminar, she did not look into the Eastern or the Central time, so she created 10:30. So that we originally planned for 10:30 Central Standard Time, but she created this seminar as Central or as an Eastern Standard Time. So we can always go ahead and then change the time. So at the end of this session, if you guys feel like we should start at 11:30 Eastern Standard, which is 10:30 your time, we are fine with it. All right. So forgive us for today. All right, so that's that. Here I see that another question here is, can you talk a little bit about the difference between JUnit and the TestNG? Okay, the question here that I have here is, what is the difference between a TestNG and a JUnit framework? Okay, very good question, nice question. Of course, we will be covering in-depth of JUnit as well as TestNG. Today on day one, and we are just not even like half hour into our session. I think it'll be too early for the rest of the folks to understand, you know, even if I try to give you some examples, talk about the annotations and stuff like that, it'll be a little bit too early for them. So sit tight. You know, I will cover that question probably on day 2 or early day 3. I will spend a lot of time on that. Now, anytime if there is any thing that is bothering you, and if you think that your questions are not being answered, try and understand, like you, there are so many people in this session. So if you try to keep your questions on the topics of the day, all right? So as far as the topic of the day is concerned, yeah, you know, today we are introducing ourselves. So when the time is right, I will cover that. But you say that, no, I still insist to get the answer to my question. Then I'll say, this is what you have to do. Bring it offline. So how can you communicate with us offline after we end this session? After we end this session, which is either today or tomorrow or any time, you know, as long as you want to communicate with us, you could go to groups.google.com, and all of you folks who have registered with us, after today's class, we will be making you a member of this. So you are not, as you can see when I logged in, let me do it one more time. Groups.google.com. When you do that, I am logged in as TrainingRite, right? I'm logged in. So as you can see, I am the admin for all of these groups. We have the BA classes, PMP classes, we have QTP, Ruby, Cucumber, Selenium, C#, Advanced QTP, and and here is your Selenium training. Now, as you can see, you, depending on what course or courses you have taken from us, you will be a part of those groups, and we will, for you folks, will make you the part of this group today. So tomorrow or sometime today, you would be able to see this. What you have to do is, when you click on that, there is a lot of activity in this group, right? As you can see, a lot of activity in that group. So whenever you have a question, you can search for the topic. Just to give you an example, Excel, right? Excel data-driven testing, something like that, right? So when I do that, as you can see, how to create a data-driven framework in Excel, right? So this, as you can see, we have the complete code for that, and people, when they were doing their assignments, so there was some questions about it. So down the road, when the time is right, you should be able to go and then look into these things, right? We will give you the assignment, and when they submit the assignment, you know, there are different things. This is the assignment somebody had submitted, right? So you will be also be doing something. Now you would say, oh my God, this is beyond me. I just cannot handle this. This is too much. This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot be a part of this because I was a manual tester. I just joined this training hoping that I would be. No. You know what? Too early. I mean, forgive me for showing you this code, but I can challenge you, and I can assure you, I can guarantee you, you will be doing all of this with your, literally with your eyes closed. Now, you would say, how can somebody do this with their eyes closed? That is how it is going to be. So easy. Easy. And that's exactly the challenge that we have. And I will prove it to you that there are certain tricks that I would be showing you. So many tricks that I'll be showing you to make your job so easy that you would love automation testing. You would say that, wow, I should have taken this course long time back, and you know, I missed the opportunity. But hey, there's never a missed opportunity. Why? Because if you go to dice.com and look for opportunities for Selenium all over the country today, right? All over the country, you can find tons of jobs. I was looking for Hicksville, New York. Of course, Hicksville is a small town here in New York, so there is not going to be many jobs in there. But if I take out that and look for Selenium, there are tons of jobs all over the country. There are jobs, right? I mean, I understand some of you are from different countries. We have folks from Mexico attending this training. We have folks from London, UK attending this training, and I have at least like one person from Australia attending this training. So this is global. I mean, we have as far as Australia and somewhere in between UK, and we have our friends from the south, from Mexico. So I am honored to provide this training to all of you, and I can assure you that you will have a good time learning this, and you will be putting it to use, because wherever you are, whatever you're doing right now, there is a huge opportunity for you to grow if you become a good Selenium tester. And you don't have to trust a word I say. I am proving it to you. If you go to DICE, if you go to Monster, and you'll find that tons of jobs. Now, if any one of you who would like to go through us, we are in partners with some major recruiting companies of United States. So we could also help you if there is, and I'm not particularly talking to any individual here. Generally speaking, I'm saying that if you want to go through, you can definitely contact us, and then we'll make sure that it happens. But before you do that, you have to earn your certification, and the certification, TrainingRite would issue you a certification of completion when you submit all those 8 assignments. So some of the assignments would be something like this. This is one of the previous students, she completed it, and it is going to be easy for you to do something like that. So we were talking about communicating with us offline. So offline, if you are something is bothering you, you can look for it. Let's say, for example, JUnit, just right. And if you look into it, does anyone have issues with running JUnit in Internet Explorer 11? I ran my JUnit parameterization. So here is this person trying to say things, and then somebody else is trying to help them. So there's so many things going on in here, as you can see, right? So there is a good community that we have here. People from the previous batches, they have taken these courses, and they are working with major corporations, so they can also help you. So post your questions here. Now, if you find something already, like let's say if I go for testng and hit that, here is something. Somebody else is asking a question. Hey, my friends, I got an error message, unexpected error launching, what is the cause of that? Can you help? So here is some, details of that, and somebody else is trying to help. They say that, okay, do this, do that, do that, do that, and eventually at the end of this, forum is you'll see that, it will get fixed. There are some solutions that are happening and get fixed. Okay, so post your questions here. Now, to post a new topic, you will just go, first of all, do some research, find out if the answer is there or not. If not, just post your questions. So when you click on that post, and you could give the subject, and as much as you can give us the information about it, it will be better. So if you want to attach a screenshot, do that. If you have to type, copy paste the error, do that. If you, just give us as much as you can, so that it becomes easy for us to help you. All right, so that's the offline way of interacting with us, right? Now, we have said repeatedly that we are very big when it comes to, interacting with you, anything other than voice, right? So in today's time, people love to interact using the internet, emails, forums. So keep it that way, right? Keep your questions coming in. So interact with us. Okay, now there's a question here as what are the major differences between QTP and Selenium? Now both are very good tools, excellent tools. QTP and Selenium both are excellent tools. Now QTP is from right now HP has bought it, but before that it was from Mercury. So it's a good, nice company. And the major difference between QTP and Selenium is QTP is license-based, supported by a company like the magnitude of HP, meaning that you can expect that when you pay for that license of QTP, which is almost close to $10,000, you could expect like a big, huge support from the company itself. Whereas Selenium is free, right? So Selenium is free. Now a lot of people are trying to look into Selenium. Why? Because before even you could lift your finger doing any testing, with QTP you have to spend almost like $20, $30, $40, $50,000 if you have, let's say, 5 licenses. $50,000 before even you can attempt to write even a single or test case, test script. But whereas Selenium, you are not spending anything. It is free. But then there is there was a huge misconception about Selenium. If something is free, maybe there is no quality there. Maybe Selenium can't do much. That was the case in the year 2009, 2010. People were not believing it. Around the tail end of 2010 or early 2011, Google, a company like Google, who to me is one of the most how can I put it? I mean, that is the best thing that can happen in software. Google. I mean, Microsoft has its own contribution to humanity. I mean, every household today has a computer that runs Windows. I mean, just think about it. Think about it. What Bill Gates has done to this world. I mean, his vision he brought into every household. Likewise, Apple guys with their iPhones. I mean, every hand, almost every other hand, had touched your iPhone, if not own it. So that's something. So likewise, with Google adapting Selenium, what Google they did is, well, we're going to be using Selenium to test our own applications. Now imagine Google being such a huge, giant monster of software, right? They are using Selenium. So imagine the amount of confidence Google has in Selenium as a tool to do the automation testing. So that has put to rest all these misconceptions that Selenium is not a good tool. So now a lot of companies are flocking, running and using Selenium. So QTP's market has gone down, if not significantly, at least in a big way. Their numbers are affected because now companies are not literally buying QTP. QTP is an old product now. They have changed it to something called UFT. They are calling it UFT. So not major companies. I mean, somebody who is already invested, having a partnership with HP, they are not cutting off the relation. They are taking it, to the next level. But if a new company has to go and do any implementation, they are looking at Selenium right now. So I would say that the Selenium market has definitely taken off, and they have given huge competition to QTP/UFT, and so UFT has taken a second or sort of like a back seat in automation right now, because Selenium is the front runner when it comes to being used for automation testing. So it's a very good investment on your part that you are learning Selenium. Now our courses, believe it or not, these courses, and you will hopefully come to realize at the end of 1 or 2 sessions after you see this, our courses are like priced at $399. I mean, $400. I don't know if you go out, watch a couple of movies, go out and eat, and that's your $400, right? But here, the $400 investment is going to bring a huge, significant, dramatic change in your career and in your life. Imagine spending $400, and I cannot believe if somebody tells me that, you know what, this $400 was a waste. And I am sure you will agree with me at the end of this that if not for anything, it was like a very good experience on your part to take this course, that's how your feeling will be, and I have absolutely no doubts about it, because this $400 of investment is going to bring you at least $70,000 to $80,000, because that's the going rate if you join as a entry level, at least I'm talking about the East Coast or the West Coast. I'm not talking about Montana or South Dakota. I mean, I don't know who would be in South Dakota. No offense to South Dakota, but I mean, you'll find more deers or bears in those areas rather than humans, I guess. So in happening cities, in major metros like New York, or if you go to California, or even Houston, or Texas, any place in Texas, you'll find, or Chicago, Minneapolis, different places, you find that there is a good opportunity. And particularly if you're in the East or West Coast, if you go as a contractor, as an on a 1099, if you go as a consultant, the going rate is somewhere between 60, or I would say somewhere between $55 to $75. So let's take the lower end of it, 55, or bring it down to $50 an hour. Every day you'll make $400. So one day of your life, of your project, is going to pay off this training. So likewise, if there is a need, you could go and look into different trainings that we have. I mean, this again is a good course. Selenium C#.net. You could look into our QTP course. You could look into different courses, right? I mean, I'm not gonna promote or talk about these things. When you have a minute, just go and look into it. SoapUI is like one of the hottest course that we have. It's a web service testing that we do. So take a look into this website in your leisure time, and you will get to know. So this is a very good investment on your part. Again, not trying to push you, but very, very good investment. I am not surprised. I just mentioned United States, but this could be true for Sydney in Australia. This could be true for London in UK, where my friend Emmanuel is from. And Abel, you guys are in Mexico, and I'm sure you have equal markets for Selenium there as well. Alrighty, so let us come back and see what we're going to be doing in here. I'm not going to talk bullet by bullet as what we're going to be covering, but I'm going to give you some ideas of what we're going to be doing in here. I want you during your leisure time to go and then take a look into the course agenda, right? Here we go. Just to give you an idea, this is what our focus of our course is going to be. Selenium basically comes, if you allow me, Selenium offers something called IDE, offers something called RC server, and something called a web driver. Okay, now let's talk about these things a little bit. Now, as any tool, Selenium also offers you a feature of a record, and run or play, right? However you want to call it. So record and play is a feature of majority of the tools. So Selenium also offers you record and run, meaning that Selenium has something called Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE helps you to do the recording. And in fact, I'm going to start that today, and I will show you how to do the recording and how to run your scripts. And now the industry uses IDE probably around less than 5% of the time. That means that 95% of the time, one of these two is used. right? Either RC server and WebDriver. RC server was good up to 2012, I would say, right? This was very, very popular up to that time, or the early 2013. Since 2013 onwards, WebDriver had picked up in a huge way, right? Any company today who is doing the testing, they are using WebDriver. It is also referred to as Selenium 2.0, right? Because that's the latest way of interacting or testing using something called Selenium WebDriver. Okay, now what is the difference between all three? I'm not going to talk about the difference between the three today. So as we progress in this course, you will get to know the differences. I will just make one statement that will highlight you the difference between the three. Okay, WebDriver and RC server, there is no recording. You cannot do any recording in here, right? So what you can do is you have to write the code. The code is nothing but your program. So if you have to write the program, then you have to choose a language. Selenium supports multiple languages. Selenium supports Java, Selenium supports C#.NET, Selenium supports Python, Selenium supports Perl, Selenium also supports to a certain extent the other languages that you could bring in as a part of your plugins and stuff like that. So these are the major ones. Now our course is basically about Java. If there is an interest, you could come back for C#. Now, many a times we will be sending you notifications, but the best thing is just keep an eye on our class dates. So these are the upcoming courses for the month of March. So we'll be starting this UFT, and we'll be doing a Ruby Cucumber, SoapUI, manual testing, Selenium C#.NET. Right? In the following months, we will be doing some mobile testing, and we'll be doing some other courses like Coded UI. So, but all of these courses are ready, meaning that you can just get the videos of that. Let's say if you can't wait for the Selenium C#, you just get the videos of that, right? As you can see, Selenium C# is in high demand because there are not many companies out there doing the training for that. So we sell it for a little bit more, right? But you don't have to chalk out $400 because you could get the videos for $399, and a lot of people, they just buy the videos. And so what is the difference and all that? There is a video, you could watch the video, get to see. The tool is where the difference is going to be. We will be using a different tool. So coming over here in WebDriver and RC server, since there is not going to be any recording, so you have to write the code, you have to write the program, and the language is going to be Java. So when you have to write the code or the program, you write the program using a tool, right? So the tool, there are many tools out there that you could be using, but the most popular tools for Java is Eclipse, and we'll be using Eclipse. So day 2, tomorrow, I'll be showing you everything about where to download Eclipse from, how to set it up on your machine, and how to write the code. So now in IDE, since less than 5% of the companies are using IDE, so we will not be spending more than one session on IDE. So I'm going to begin today and hopefully end it. If not today, in the next class I'll end IDE, and chances are we will never come back to IDE. Or now I am conflicting myself. Or I will say that depending on who you are, you will be coming back to IDE 95% of the time. I said you will be coming back to IDE. So there is a secret, right? There is a trick that I will be showing you, not today, but in tomorrow's class. Why 95% of the people, they keep coming back to IDE, right? Even though I said that less than 5% of the time, you really find a use for IDE, but 95% of the time you will find yourself keep coming back. So why is that? The answer to that is in the next class I will share with you, because I will show you one of the tricks, and that trick will be your lifesaver, right? When it comes to Selenium automated testing, that secret or the trick that I'll show you will save you in any situation, and trust me when I say that. whatever situation you are in, you will be able to go to IDE and you follow my trick, and then it will save your day. Within 5 minutes, you will be able to do almost anything, right? Okay, so with that said, why don't we get started with IDE, and I will discuss everything about IDE today in this session. Okay, Selenium. Selenium is basically something that you have to download, right? So when you say you have to download, you're downloading flavors of Selenium. Either you're downloading this, or you're downloading that, or you're downloading that, right? Depending on which one you want. So today I will download Selenium IDE. So I will download Selenium IDE today. Where are you going to be downloading from Selenium IDE? When you hear the word download, we always think that that's something that I have to download on my machine, I have to install on my machine. Not necessarily true. Depending on what you are downloading, right? Depending on, sometimes what you download might take literally 3 seconds. So what if I tell you that it will take you 3 seconds to download Selenium IDE, right? You would say, come on, that can't be true. 3 seconds is 1, 2, 3. So you think that I can, and I'll say, yes, you could download, if you know where to download it from, right? If you know where to download it from, you could download it in 3 seconds. So let me show you where to download it from, right? And then there are some prerequisites, right? Prerequisites to download Selenium, right? There are some requirements. Requirements are Selenium IDE. Selenium IDE, it's a plugin. Plugin of what? Plugin of Firefox browser. So you have to have Firefox browser on your machine. So the prerequisite is you must have Firefox browser. So if you don't have a Firefox browser, you have to start there, go and download Firefox browser. So I have Firefox browser. So here is my Firefox browser. So let me just close everything and open it again. So here is on my machine, if you see, I'm not saying that you have to run and do this today, but you should be doing it sometime soon. If you see, I have a, one second. This is my Google Chrome, and I have a Firefox, and I have an Internet Explorer, and I have Opera, and I have Apple Safari. I have all those 5 browsers, right? Now, I don't want you to start off with downloading all of them, but try to download Firefox, right? And I don't think there's any machine out there that doesn't have IE. So this you might already have. IE and Firefox you already have. Try and download Chrome also. Try and download Google Chrome. These 3 minimum you should have. Minimum you should have on your machine, right? Okay, today I don't need all those 3. I need what? I need Firefox. Okay, so let's go and start Firefox. One second. So I'm gonna bring up Firefox. Since we said, oh boy, so you talk about concentration, and people try to take away your concentration. I mean, here I am trying to do a noble thing. Teach, and look what Yahoo is doing to me. I mean, this is not fair. This thing is, my homepage is Yahoo. So it is trying to take away my attention. Anyway, so let's go to Google. That's why I like Google. No, they don't take, they don't indulge in making you crazy. Let's put it in that way. So simple, clean, clear, nice, no interruptions, right? Okay, you go to Google and you say, I need to download what? Selenium. Download Selenium. Hit enter. Now that's gonna bring you to this And here, when you click on that, notice that it brought you to a page to a site called seleniumhq.org. Selenium HQ probably stands for headquarters. Basically, it's the main site from where you would be able to know that anything that is happening in Selenium, right? So you could go to these tabs and read, whatever you need to read. Right now, I'm just going to draw your attention to the download tab, and in the download, as you can see, you have things in here. You have hang on for a second. Because I already have it, so it's not even showing me. So if you see here, I have the Selenium IDE. I have Selenium IDE already installed on my machine, so that's why probably it's not showing. So I will say download Selenium IDE, right? And you come over here. Now, the fact that it is detecting that I have Selenium IDE, it is not showing me anything about Selenium IDE in here, right? But if I uninstall Selenium IDE, it might show me here that I need to download Selenium IDE. So you would be seeing here, like you see Selenium server, and you see the web driver, and for the web driver, you see that there is a web driver for Java, C#, Ruby, Python, and all that, right? So depending on what language we'll be using, we'll be going and then downloading that down the road. For today, we're going to be looking into this IDE. So the IDE, you'll find a link for the IDE here. And based on that link, you can click on that link, and then you will find that it'll take less than 2-3 seconds, as I was telling, and then it'll install this Selenium IDE, right? So once the Selenium IDE is installed on your machine, then we will go ahead and then we'll start using it. So the way we use that is just after it is installed, just click on that to bring it up. And forgive me here for 1 second because, okay, so I'll do it again. So tools, and when you do Selenium IDE, this is what it is going to show. And what this is this is your Selenium IDE. Okay, like any other tool, this tool also has few things in here that needs our attention. So right on the top is the menu items here. As you can see, these are the menu items here on the top, right? Menu items will make you do things like if you want to open a test case, you can click on File and say Open, and you could open a test case, whatever test case you want to open. But how can you open a test case when you don't have any test case? So you have to create a test case. So in order to create a test case, notice that when we open Selenium IDE, it opened with you showing this untitled, and this section, there is a section, there's a left-hand side, and then there is a right-hand side. In the left-hand side, if you can see, this is telling you about the test case. The test case right now is untitled, meaning that we have not given it any title. So that's what it is. So how can you give the name for a test case? Well, what you do is, as far as the name of the test case is concerned, you have to go in and you have to save this test case. So what is our test case? What are we trying to do? So before I start to explain you how to use the IDE, let's decide what are we going to be doing as a test case. So here is some simple example. Simple example that I have here is if you go down in here, right, to this website, TrainingRite.net. TrainingRite.net, if you go down to this website, right, scroll down, right, you could see this is a student website. So we just put in some stuff in here, right, for students. This is not the actual website. This is our actual company's website is this. So, this is the main website, TrainingRite.com. This TrainingRite.net, this is for practice for students to do certain things, some projects and stuff like that. So to do the testing and all that. Okay. So here, one of the things that we would like to do here is have a test case, do the automation of a test case wherein we have to do the following. What do we have to do? We have to log into the application. Now you would say that, well, how can I log into this application? I'm not even a member of this site. I have not even signed up for the site. Well, that's right. So why don't we sign up? So you got to go in there and click on sign up. When you click on sign up, this is going to show up, and here it is asking you a few questions. So it is asking you, what is your name, right? So I'm going to use one of you folks, to just show as the manual testing part of it, and then we will automate this script. So I'm going to take a simple name, easy name, Uma, right? Okay, the first name is Uma. I'm not going to give the last name, so I'll use the last name as, let's say, TrainingRite student, right? Just like that. Let's say that's the last name, because I don't want to use anybody's last name. Okay, so the email address is first name dot last name, TrainingRite student, right, at, let's say, gmail.com. Right? Doesn't matter, whatever, right? So that's that. The password, I'll use the password as the word password, and verify password, again, the word password. Home phone number, it is going to be, I'll make it up, right? So I'll just say 212, right? This is the New York area code, and I'll make up the phone number as something like 6270000, right? Okay. And the cell phone number, I'll use the same, 6270000. And here I'll say that Uma is an automated software engineer. All right. Okay. And I will submit it. So this is the manual test that I'm using, right? When I submit it, now notice what happens. If everything is good, if I submit it, this is the phone number that I have used, right? That's the phone number that I have used. And before I submit, let me take you here, take you there, and scroll down a little bit and go down to this. This is the phone number that I have used. And trust me, this is the password, PASSWORD. And when I try to log in, because we did not hit submit yet, so it's not, she's not a member yet. And if it is not a member, and when you click on that, what message you're going to see? Oh, we are sorry. No matching profile found for the username and password combination. Try again, right? Of course, that's the case, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make her the member. So I will click on submit. Once I click on submit, I should get this customer information added successfully. If I get this, that means that she has been entered into our system. So first of all, I got to create an automated script for this. How can I create an automated script for this, right? That's number one. Number two, we want to test that it did work. So that's the phone number. Now, if I put this password and click on submit, I should not be seeing that message, we are sorry, right? And lo and behold, we don't see that. We see that she has become a member of the site. So her name is Uma, customer profile of TrainingRite student, which is the last name. Her phone number is that. So we want to automate the whole thing. We want to automate the whole thing using Selenium. Well, where do we start? Do we have to write the script? The answer is, well, if we are using RC server or WebDriver, then we don't have the ability to do any recording. Then we have to go and then we have to write the script. And we have to use the language called Java because that's what we decided to do it. And then we have to use a tool, and the tool, there can be many more tools, but we would go with Eclipse, and that's what we'll be using, Eclipse, right, to do that. So this 2 and 3 will be coming down the road, not necessarily in any order, in that particular order. I might cover WebDriver first and then RC server, or however we feel like, right? We'll do that. Today, the topic is IDE, meaning the same test case that I have just talked about. We will be going and then doing that, recording for that. And I will not only record it, but I will also try to run and see if it is successful. Okay, now, in order to do the recording and all that, we have to download, and I just showed you where to download and how to download, and the whole process would take 3 seconds if you know where to go and what is the prerequisite. The prerequisite is you have to have Firefox, and that's what we did, and we went there and then we downloaded it, right? And oh, believe it or not, it did recorded everything in here that I wanted to show you, but then it did record it. But I want to start right from the beginning. It did record it because you see this button. This is always in recording mode, so it recorded all that, whatever I wanted to show. It is all recorded, and just to see, I'll show it to you one more time. But just to see that it had recorded it, I am going to run this. I'm going to run this, and then you will see that it'll do whatever we did just now. And I'll put it slow, and then I'll run it, and you will see that it is going to do. As you can see, it is going there, right? Clicking on that, UMA, TrainingRite, that. Now, will the system take it? Yes, it will, right? Okay, we have a problem. So if you see here, while we were recording, there was something more in here, right? Now, and so it did not run, so it gave me a red, and it did not run. Because when I was recording, after I did that, I went to, remember, I went here to the other page, and I scrolled down, and I entered in this. So all that was being recorded, right? Okay, so I'm gonna discard this altogether. This is gone. I'm not gonna save, and I'm gonna do the whole thing again right from the beginning. This time I'll show you what I'm doing. All right? Okay. So before we get into that, let me pause here for 2 seconds and ask you, how are we doing so far? How are we doing? Because I've been talking for a little over an hour and 15 minutes, and I have not given any opportunity to any one of you to ask me any questions. So here I stop and ask you, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions for me? Do you want me to do it any differently? If you find me talking too fast, if you find me talking too slow, if you find me, just talk to me. You know, the whole idea here is not that you should come and then sit there and then just listen to me and then, you know, at the end of the session, you know, be unhappy. What I want you to do is let me know if I am making sense to you or not. If you think that there is a problem here, we can always sort it out, right? So talk to me, let me know. I have at least 2 or 3 people so far who said that, okay, it's going on fine. But how about the rest of you folks? Is there something that we can do differently to make you participate? or I should just continue the way it is? I mean, you know, the objective here is we should learn, right? Yeah, the activities part, I will only on day 1, and if you can allow me to talk and explain you, Ramirez, what is happening on day 1. I have to set the plot on day 1. I have to lay out the plan, and I have to, so you find me doing a lot of talking on day 1, wherein I have to explain you different things and all that. Starting from day 2, we have a predefined agenda, right? So, and in there we have objectives, we have goals to meet in those 2 hours. So I'll be starting off with, okay, this is what we are going to be doing today, and this is where I want to be at the end of the 2 hours. And in between, while I'm doing it, I'm just gonna, you know, pick your brains here and there, and then give you little activities in the sense that involve you to do it, right? And I might, only because of the lack of time, I might not be able to do it today, but I will see if I could bring in an activity with you particularly today. So I will show you something, and then the way I will involve you folks is I will give the control of my machine to you, and then I will let you run something for me. I will say that, okay, I want you to do this. Now that you have seen how it is done, I want you to go ahead and then do this for me. And then you should be able to perform that activity for. So there are a good amount of people in here. Not everybody would, rise up to the occasion and then would like to take up the challenge of doing the activity while they are in this session. But whoever, I will give them a chance. So usually we start doing it on day 2, but I'll see if I could squeeze in some time to make it happen even with day 1. Okay, let's continue. So now that you know what is the objective, let us see how we can automate it. So in order to automate it using Selenium IDE, first of all, I will open Selenium IDE. Many a times people say that, when I go after installing Selenium IDE, they say that, when I don't find tools on my machine. Well, the reason you don't find tools on your machine is because your Firefox, if you go to your Firefox and if you right-click here, notice the menu, it is checked. If I uncheck it, well, you're not going to see the tools. So they will call me while, let's say, because I teach more than one class, so sometimes I'll be in the middle of a class and then people are calling, and then they say that, oh, you did not answer when I called. Well, I was teaching another session, so I cannot take your call. So what you should be doing is you should post it. But before you start to liberally post each and everything, try and exhaust your own, possibilities of coming to a conclusion. So exhausting your possibilities is exploring how can I bring back the tool. So should I do this and click on that? Well, if you can do that, then no need to post it. So you should try everything before you post and say that, oh, I don't see tools on my Firefox. Well, you don't see tools because you have not tried this, right? So just try that and you should see. Now, you will not see on your Firefox the Selenium IDE, and that's what I have shown you, that you have to go and you have to download it, right? So you can download it. Once you download it, it's going to come and then sit here, and we will open it. When you open it, as I was talking to you about these menu items, there is base URL. Base URL is the URL of the application that you want to test. So the application I want to test is TrainingRite.net, right? So TrainingRite.net, so that's the application. So I would type TrainingRite.net, and then after that, by the way, this is a toggle. It will open, and then and then after that, if you keep your eye and notice this, right, you will see that it is automatically in the recording. Now recording. It is recording. It is in the recording mode. Anything I touch now on TrainingRite.net, it will record. Anything I touch. So what am I going to be touching? Of course, I will come in here. As you can see, when I scroll all the way down, here is my sign up, and I got to go and then click on the sign up. So let me bring this here, right? And notice that when I click on the sign up, right now on this side, you don't have anything in here. You have command, target, and value. And what is that command, target, and value? I'll come to that in just a second. Allow me to click on this sign up. So when I click on the sign up, right, of course the browser brought me here, but let's see what happened here, right? And if you notice what happened here, it did two things. What did it do? Let's take a look. When I click on the first line, this open line, pay attention to what happens here, right? These are command, target, and value. What happens to it? When I do that, it is telling me the command you did was you said open, and then you did this /. There is no value. Now let me tell you what is this open and what is this /. Every test case, right now we are doing a test case for logging in or sign up a new member. That's what we are doing right now. And then after that, we'll be doing a logging in. So sign up for a new member. Every test case we are doing, Selenium will do. Somebody asked me a question today, what are the major differences between QTP and Selenium? One of the difference between QTP and Selenium is in QTP, we can go and we can test different types of applications. So I am taking you away from the main objective, which is the testing, but give me a second here and I will quickly finish this thought and then I'll go back to that. So if you see, the idea here is when it comes to automation testing, when it comes to automated testing, there are tools out there. The two popular tools today, there are many though, right? And since the question was about QTP and Selenium, so let's discuss about these two, and we could always come back and make a comparison with the others. So QTP and Selenium, basically with automated testing, these are the tools, right? These are the tools that will help you to do the testing. Now, QTP and Selenium, they will test what? They'll test applications. They test apps, right? Now, what are the different types of applications? Now, there are different types of applications. There is something called, believe it or not, there are mainframe applications. There are something called client-server applications. There are something called web application, right? And then there is something called mobile applications, right? So with QTP, right, mainframe, nobody basically, I mean, I shouldn't be saying nobody, but what percentage of automated testers are doing mainframe testing? I mean, absolutely, there's nothing happening there, right? So I will not even bring it into the discussion. So the main ones are client-server, web applications, and mobile applications, right? Okay, now client-server, going back into the years when I started my career, and boy, did I put myself into trouble with this or what, when I said when I started my career, because most of you, or at least some of you, would say that, oh, I was not even born. I started my career in 1996, right? I finished my master's in computer science, and then I started my career in 1996. So almost about 20 years now. So client server at that time, you know, was a major player. Forget about mobile. There was nothing mobile apps. Web was sort of like coming out because there was no Google, there was no Amazon, there was nothing. Yahoo was like a bare minimum Yahoo. There was nothing on Yahoo. And I remember, I recall all of these things because when I was doing my master's. Today, we cannot afford or we cannot think of a life without internet. But at that time, internet was more like a luxury because I never had a computer. I'm talking about 1996, right? I never had a computer, right? And the computer at in my universities was the lab. You know, we hardly got any time to go on that. Most of the things would be not working, this and that. So anyways, make the long story short, the QTP can do client-server testing. It can do web application, it can do. Slowly it is beginning to pick up in the mobile apps as well, right? So it can do this. Selenium, on the other hand, can do web and can do mobile, right? So it can do this and that. It cannot do the client-server applications. So unfortunately, that's a drawback Selenium cannot handle. So web applications is anything that runs in a browser, that runs in a browser. So again, there are browsers, i.e. Chrome, Firefox, Opera, and your Safari, and whatever the other are. So I can show you all, and very soon I'll be doing, but our concentration is going to be on the first three, even though I will show you all, right? Okay, so the IDE, Selenium IDE, further has a restriction that it can only deal with Firefox. It cannot deal with Chrome. It cannot deal with IE. It can only deal with Firefox, IDE, right? So that's why you have to have Firefox. You can only do it with Firefox. Now, many a times people come back and say that, oh, my IDE is not working on my Internet Explorer. Wow, come on. I told you many times in this that IE will not, right? But again, because I am the man with the tricks, down the road, I will show you how you could make IDE and work with IE and Chrome and all that, right? Along with WebDriver and all that, I'll show it to you down the road. Right now, we just focus on this. Okay, so we come back to the test case. This was the test case, and then we clicked on that. When we clicked on that, what it did is the first line was a command the IDE is giving to open what? To open to this / means that this address. So it is telling Firefox, take me to this address, trainingrite.com, right? Take me to the base URL. That's the meaning of that. After that, right, what did we do? We clicked on something here. Now, what is this CSS input submit button? If you recall, that was the one before where I clicked on the sign up. Now, how do I know about these things? Well, today is too early to bring in another two tools. There are tools which I will be sharing with you in the next class. There is a tool called Firebug, and then there is a tool called FirePath, right? And tomorrow I will be introducing you to Firebug and FirePath. These tools, they help us. They help us what? They help us identify what? Identify the elements on a page. Elements on a page. Now you would say, what is an element? What do you mean by that? Well, element is what we refer when it comes to like this box, that's an element. This login, that's an element, right? This button, that's an element. So if you see here, what happened, this CSS input submit button. So we clicked on that. So here it said, hey, I want you to click and wait. Click and wait on what? This is the target, on this one. So an element can be identified, right? Tomorrow I'll be showing you an element can be identified. If you want to identify me, right? How would you identify me? Oh, the guy who works for TrainingRite. Okay, that's one way of identifying me. Oh, the guy, his name is Irfan. Okay, that's another way of identifying me, right? So there are multiple ways of identifying this button, right? Tomorrow I'll be showing you what are those multiple ways of identifying. I don't want to rush, but I want to just instill this confidence in you that it is as easy as just clicking on this and clicking on that, and then we'll come to know something in here, and that's how we will get to know what is that. And I will start all this tomorrow. I'll start all that tomorrow. So again, coming back here, so let me again do this, and this is the last time I'm doing this, taking you away from what we were supposed to do. So okay, so here we start Selenium IDE, and I'm going to do the recording again. Now I am going to do the recording for what? For a test case. So what is this test case? So we have to begin here. First things first, give it a name and save it. So file, save test case as. Where am I saving it? Well, the last time I did something that was for the Selenium C#, so it is there. I want you to create a folder called Selenium Java Training. So Selenium, so on your C drive, I'm a firm believer in organizing things, right? You have to find something that you are working on at 2 in the morning. You should be able to find where did you save it, so that you should be able to open it and look into it. So if you know where you're putting all your files, it will be easy. So since it's a Selenium Java course, create a folder for Selenium Java, right? And in there, nothing will be there for you, so you start creating these folders. So there is a folder that I want you to create called IDE test cases. So inside IDE test cases, I want you to go ahead and then save this. So save test case as, so give it a name. This is going to be what? This is TrainingRite as in TR, right? New member, right? Or TrainingRite new member sign up, right? So that's the name that you have given. You save it, and as you can see, TrainingRite new member sign up. It is already in the recording mode. Let me go ahead and do the recording. So if you go all the way down in here, here is the sign up button. I'm going to click on that, and I will enter whatever I need to enter. So I'm going to start off with Ebo, right? And I would say TrainingRite student, and I will say TR student at gmail.com. Okay, and the password would be password would be password, and home phone number, I'm going to use a home phone number which is I don't know, 212, and this is forgive me, right? So no, I will not do that to you. Okay, 555-5555. You'll be happy now that I did not use all 6s. Okay, so that's good. Cell phone number, I guess, is the same, and I will say that Abel is a senior test engineer. Okay, so I will submit, right? And we have this, we have to capture this message, right? Because we have to make sure that we got that message. So now think about it. I'm still, I'm recording in the back. Everything is getting recorded. So whatever I have done in here all got recorded, but I also want to record that I received this message, right? So sort of like a checkpoint, if you will, from QTP. So this is also known as verifying or asserting. So you can create an assertion saying that this text, you have seen this text, or it exists. Or you can have something called like verify that you have this text. So how do you do that? So for that, highlight the text, right click. All this is happening in Firefox. Right click, and notice in the bottom you have show all available commands. Okay, now this is beautiful. What it is saying is, hey, you can assert the title of the page, and if you don't know what is the title of the page, every page can have a title, so you can check for every page will have a title, so you can check for a title for is the title of the page register page. Or you can check and you can say that I want to verify that the title of this page is registered. I'm not interested in verifying the title. I'm interested in making sure that I got that message, customer information added successfully. So for that, I could that text would come in one of the elements, and whose ID is this. So I could use that verify. So now the question is, do you want to verify or do you want to assert? So what is the difference between verify and assert, right? What is the difference between verify and assert? So let's say if I have this test case that is going to continue further, I'm not going to stop here. Let's say the next thing that I want to continue is I would have clicked into this login and go and then login. So that's the continuation. So if I have more lines, right, of commands after whatever I am verifying, and if the verification fails, the test will still continue. It will continue to work. Whereas if I use an assert, and if the test fails, the test will stop there. It will not continue. So you have to decide whether you want an assertion or whether you want a verification. So for what we are doing, I am happy with the assertion. So I'll take the assert text. So make sure that we have a text called customer information added successfully. That's what I want to make sure that I can assert. So let's click on that, right? And now my test case is over. So I will go back to, I'll go back here. I see that there are so many lines here. As you can see, it is still recording. I'm going to stop the recording. I will stop the recording, right? Okay. What I have here is so many lines here. Starting from the first line, let us see if you understand the first line. The first line is there any problem with this first line? No, because you all understand that. And the ID is telling, hey, I want Firefox, I want you to open and go to this. Then it is telling, hey, Firefox, I want you to click and wait on that button. Then it is saying, hey, Firefox, when you click on that button, it will come to this page, correct? It will come to this page. Then we are saying, hey, Firefox, I want you to if you see here, the command is to type. I want you to type in that target with this value of able, right? Now, if you say that, you know what, I am really not sure where this thing is. I don't know where this thing is, right? And I don't know where this thing is. Can you show me where this thing is? So what you do is, okay, I'm just going to do it this way so that, no, hang on. I will collapse this so that, and I will do this so that you can see, right? Okay. Now, this one, we all know that that's that. But let's say there are, this one I want to find out. And I don't know, maybe there are 55 different things in here. And I want to find out this one. So I can highlight that and click on find. And notice what it did here, right? Click on find. So this will tell you, and when I go in here, and do that, that's that. When I go, which one is this? It'll show you which one is that. Which one is this? It'll show you which one is that. You hardly saw that, but if you keep your eye on it, see that there's a line that goes around it. So this one you can find, right? Okay, so this is telling you that, okay, we clicked on that, we came here. This we cannot find because that was on the previous page. See that we cannot find, so that's why we can't see in there, right? But if I do that, right, so it showed me over here. So the whole thing we got, right, to this endpoint, everything is there. Now what I would like to do here is I would like to save it, file, and save test case. No need to save test case. And if I want to run it again, I can run it again, right? But we already created able, right? So how about if I want to create it for someone else? Now you would say that, can we create more than one for the same guy? That depends on your application. This is a testing thing, so I allow more than one in here, right? So I allow more than one, but in real life you would not allow more than one. So this is a testing side, I allow. So if I want to do it for some other guy, so let's say I want to do it for Oscar. So I will, where should I change? Should I change here or should I change here in my test script? Because if I want to run automated script, I want to run for Oscar. So my question here is, do I change here or do I change somewhere here? The answer is you change here, right? You change here. So if I want to change here, you will highlight that. You cannot change here, you have to change here, right? So I'm just going to go down here and say Oscar. And since this is for Oscar, I will change the email address also, Oscar, and I will, the phone number, let's say, is all 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Okay, and this is also, it's not getting recorded now. No, it's the same test case, it's not getting recorded now, right? Okay, so, and I will say Oscar is okay, so now we know, I will save this, we know that the test case that we originally ran, right, while recording was for able, right? And if it did work, I should be able to go and check with his phone number, and which was 212-555-5555, and his password was password, and when I click on submit, and that's what we have, right? And now we did not run for Oscar, and Oscar's is, and password is, so we should not be seeing him. Let us run this test case. So I'm going to run this test case, and while we run, I would also like to see what is happening. So I'll just keep it here on the side, right? And I'll run it, and we'll see what is happening right now. So while you are running it, this is the fast mode, this is a slow mode. Try always to push it all the way to the slow so that you could see what is happening. According to it, if I run it, the very first thing is, wherever it is still going to take me to TrainingRite.net. I am already on TrainingRite.net. How about if I go someplace else? Let me be, oh boy, Let me be here, right? And or I could be anywhere. I could be, let's say, I could be here. I could be here, right? I could be anywhere. So the idea here is wherever we are, it doesn't matter. It will take us to this, and then it clicks on that, and it types this, types that, Oscar's phone number, and finally it'll assert text. So assert text is a command. Assert text is a command. Target is which particular element we are asserting, and what is the message or the value of it, right? That's what. Okay, so it doesn't matter where it is highlighted. It's still, when you say run, it is going to run right from the beginning. Why do we have a run and a run? The reason we have that is because very soon you will find that we'll have more than one test cases here, right? We'll have, right now I have new member. The next one I'll bring up is login. So when you have more than one, you want to run all of them. So this is the run the entire test suite. This is if you want to run only one, this is what it is. Right now I have only one, so I can do that. So let's see if it can go and then create Oscar. So this is the automation Selenium IDE testing. We will start today here. We will end today here. But before we end, let us take a look what happens. Look at the color, beige color, green color, beige color, green color in the IDE. And look at the browser. Okay, excellent. Assertion is also good. Assertion is also good. And if you go in here, all is good. That means that the test case pass. Beautiful, beautiful. So now, in order for us to go and then look into it, I can go back to TrainingRite and I can go and check for Oscar. Oscar's phone number is 212-123-4567. His password is that. And I should be, because the automation had created that, functionality did work, and here is my Oscar. So now here is the question. If I have to keep repeating a test with different sets of data, this is a small test. If I want to keep doing it for different sets of data, now do I have to come in and then keep changing these things again and again? That would become more like a manual testing then, right? So there should be a better way of doing it. So now let us understand the question. First, we got the test case. We automated it. We ran it through IDE. Everything worked, flawlessly, beautiful, fine. But many a times you have to run with huge amount of test data. And some of the test data is for negative testing, right? You want to use in the email some without this @ sign, whether it will take it or not. If you use some other in the passwords, there should be a control character. The password here is password with a PASSW0RD, but sometimes they want to use control characters like exclamation or asterisk or pound, or so that's some data that you have. So you don't want to come and then keep changing the data here. Like in order to change the data, you have to go in here and then you have to do put some data here like pound. No, you don't have to do that. So that data will come from where? From some external repository. So that external repository will be something like we could use a CSV files, right? So we could use the data. We could use CSV files, comma delimited files. We could use Excel, or we could use a database, right? Now, this is called data-driven testing. So when you have your data coming from an external repository, unfortunately, IDE cannot handle that, right? So that doesn't mean that Selenium cannot handle, because Selenium has got IDE, Selenium has got RC, and Selenium has got WebDriver. So since IDE has got its own limitation, it can only do record and run, right? Now we got to move away from IDE to either RC or to web. Right? Okay. RC server happens to be a slightly older version of it, right? Only because it was very popular in the year 2009, 2010, 11, and 12, and around that time. After that, this thing came up. After that, this thing came up, and today this is extremely popular. So we could spend some time going back into RC and talk about something that was yesterday's technology. or we could go here to WebDriver and learn the newer ones, which is being used in the industry. But you say that, well, if you teach that and not go into RC, that we will have a problem. I'll say, no. Do you think that I will ever, leave you in a problem? Never. I will never do that. So here is what I want you to do. I want you to go and watch some of the videos from the previous batches. Okay, the videos that we want you to watch from the previous batches are, hang on for a second. Okay, so I'm just looking into the RC server videos. Now, as I said previously, we used to cover, see here, RC server. So I can give you the videos of the previous batches wherein we writing complete code in Java, Selenium, RC, in JUnit and stuff like that. We could share with you, or you could also find such videos in the must-watch section. So in the Selenium Java must-watch section, here is your RC server, identifying elements without XPath, Selenium RC server, JUnit introduction. So I don't want to kill your time in the live sessions. So I would say that you should watch this, right? You should watch these things, and then one day briefly I will cover RC server very briefly, not even 2 hours. I will cover like half an hour, because I want you to just watch these videos, because I could spend that time teaching you the newer things, which is the WebDriver. So tomorrow we're going to be starting the WebDriver tomorrow. So today we have come to a point where we started off our discussion about automation testing, and then I introduced you to Selenium. Selenium has IDE, RC server, WebDriver. We said we're going to be looking into IDE. I showed you where to download the IDE from, and how to install it, what is the prerequisite for that, and then I showed you as how to do a basic test. Here is the assignment for you, right? Okay, the assignment is I want you to go to, and I'll give you this in a minute. Okay. All right, so this is the address. I'm going to copy and paste it. This is your assignment, by the way. This is the URL, right? I hope you all got the URL. This is the assignment. I want you, right, because we will take this, we will do the automation based on this assignment. So what I want you to do is, I will see how many of you are serious about learning Selenium, because I want you to go and automate using IDE the whole e-commerce end-to-end testing in this website. So the e-commerce end-to-end testing is something like this. You will start off in any e-commerce site. I don't care if it is Amazon, if it is eBay, it is anything. An e-commerce shopping cart application. These are the features of the shopping cart applications. Give and take, these are basically the things. A, you want to know if browsing of the site is working. Browse the site, right? And search for a product, right? For a product. Search for a product. A. B, once you find the product, add the product or the item to the cart, right? Doesn't matter, again, eBay, Amazon, whatever, right? C, now either you continue shopping and add more items. Now, this is to check if the shopping cart retains the first item, retains the items you already added. Think about it. If you go to a mall and if you have like a shopping cart, and if you put some stuff in it and then you are tired, so you took a sort of like a break, or and then the items disappear from your shopping cart. You are like, what the heck? I mean, this place is not safe, right? So the same thing happens if you add some items to the shopping cart and then you go from one page to the other page and the items disappear. So that would be a bad software, right? So you got to check that. And D, once you continue shopping and add more items to check the shopping cart, it retains that. D is you will go through the checkout process. In the checkout process, you will add customer info, right? Who is this for? And you would add the credit card processing. And finally, E is shipping, right? And you should have the confirmation. You should have the confirmation of your order that you have paid for. Confirmation for your order. Confirmation number, right, for your order, right? Okay, forgive my handwriting, but that's the best I could do. If you are unable to read, let me know. So this is basic workflow of your shopping cart application. Okay, I want you to do the automation testing for this. So I will do the manual test. So just to keep it simple, I mean, I could have put in, if I could do it with these cameras and TVs, and I could put anything under the sun, right, in this website. I could have sports in there. I could have you know, any items we could put in here, right? So the goal here is, right now I have cameras and I have TVs. So I'm searching for Panasonic, and I type Panasonic, right? And I click on go. And if I could assert, or if I could verify that I got something in here, right, that means that my search part is working, right? Okay. Next thing is, okay, if your search is working, A is working, B is, can I add the item to the cart? Ah, here it is, add the item to the cart. I clicked on it. Here is the item in my cart, right? So one Panasonic, it did not add two, it added one, and it's $600, and there's a discount of 101, and the total is that, right? Okay, that part is done. C, continue shopping and add more items. Make sure that if the shopping cart retains the item, add more items. Okay, register more products. I go in here. Oh, I like this Samsung TV now. So I add that. Oh, good. It retains. Panasonic TV is there. Samsung TV is there. Okay, let me buy some cameras, right? Okay, let me buy this. So I click on that. Oh, it keeps the camera. Now, look into it. The subtotal is 141. The online discount is 103.75. So this is the total. So if you want to do the testing of that, you should do that as well, right? Okay, I'm not going to take you to the extremes of, you know, going and doing all of this, but the major part right now is just keep it small, keep it like simple in the beginning, and which is the ability to browse. Okay, we got that. Add the item to the cart. Okay, we got that. It is retaining it. We got that. I never said here to do the total checking and all that. That might come in the second phase of our testing. Right now, just keep it simple. Fourth thing is checkout process. Checkout process is what? Okay, checkout process is you come in here and then you proceed to checkout. In the proceed to checkout, if you see in the bottom, I still have that, right? I could still go and then do some testing. Again, coming in the build to right? The testing on the build to is, I don't want to give it to you away right now, but there will be some bugs, and I intentionally put some bugs in here so that we can find out, you know, how we are testing, right? So I'm not going to show you those bugs right now because you will figure it out, and you will create a test case and write the test steps in Excel. Write the test steps, what is the expected value and what is the value that it is showing. And we will, JIRA or Quality Center is not a part of this course, so I cannot be showing you all that. But you know, the test cases that you would be doing, you can use either JIRA or Quality Center or QC to do that. Now, if you folks don't have experience in that and you want to learn, definitely you could come, and then again, my intention is not to sell you anything, but I don't care if you buy, don't buy, whatever, but there are some courses wherein we have the videos. You could buy the videos and then you could be learning Quality Center as how to do that and stuff like that, right? So here is all the details of how QC works and stuff like that. Okay, so coming back in here, so you will be entering the customer information, all this information, credit card information, shipping information. So let's sell it to Abo, right? And I'm just going to put some Mexico City, right? I will say Mexico. I don't know, forgive me, I don't know if you have states there or not, so I just put something MX, right? And I just put something in there, right? Forgive me for not knowing anything about Mexico. Daytime, I will just say this is your number. I'm not going to punch in a real Visa card, but I'll just put in some numbers in here, and the back of the card 123 and the expiration, just for the heck of it, right? I will say ABCD, right? Just for the heck of it. Now I'm not following this. There is something called a happy path scenario. Happy path scenario is you are a good child, you will not sway, you are not going to run into nightclubs, or you're not going to drink, and you will follow what your parents they say. They say that, you have to come back home this time of the night, and you are there. So this is happy path, a good child for you. So in testing, you will follow whatever instruction. But if you want to prove that, you know, sometimes the data could be intentionally, unintentionally, you know, wrong. So what would happen? It should not take the order. If it doesn't take the order with the bad or negative testing, then the application is good. Otherwise, there is a bug in the application. So let me try A, B, C, D, E. Common sense says that it should not, right? And it must not. So name here is Abo TR student, and 123 Mexico City, Mexico City, MX something, and daytime phone number is 212 5555555. Okay, all right. So now, even though this is right, let us see if our order goes through or not. Right, this being build one, guess what? It is going to go through. The order is going to go through, and because I intentionally created those bugs. I mean, I showed you that. I mean, can you believe if I take away everything, right? If I take away everything, this is called validating the data. You should not, the developer should not allow to submit, but he will submit. So that's a serious bug. So I am the one who created all this, so I intentionally put these bugs. But once we go into phase 2, phase 3 of it, where you will find out the bugs, and we will go through the regression testing, and I will show you how we fix it and how we do the regression testing and all that. I'll show it to you. So right now, this is the assignment. This is what you have to do. So at the end of it, you would have created a script like that. This is not that, right? So this is the previous one. This is for the new customer. So you would have created a script like that, and you would send me the script as an assignment. You are sending the script as an assignment to assignments, plural, at TrainingRite.com. That is one address. Also CC it to TrainingRite@gmail.com. Right? Okay. Assignments are usually due within 7 days, but you know, if you want to score some good marks, you know, submit it today, submit it tomorrow, whenever you can, right? But I want you to send me a screenshot of this. If you send me a screenshot, what does that tell me about you? It tells me that he or she not only followed what I told her or him to do, but they downloaded the IDE, they ran the test, they recorded the test, they ran the test, everything is, they even have the assertion, everything is good, and then they submit it to me. So this is a serious student, somebody who really wants to learn, right? Day one assignment, even though it's just a recording, it's a simple assignment. You all should be able to do it in 15-20 minutes tops. Starting from day 3 onwards, the assignments will become a little bit complex, and we'll talk about that. All right, so I am done for the day. Thank you so much for being here. We will keep the same timings, so I will see you same place, same time tomorrow. I'll give you some time. If you have any questions right now, I'll wait here for you to ask me any questions. If you don't have any questions, we are done for the day. I'm not going to be teaching you anything new at this time. So time is over. So we will see you back again tomorrow, same place, same time. We'll be sending you the invitations to only those of you folks who have registered with us. The rest of you will not be getting the invitations. If you want to come to the class tomorrow, and if you are not a member here, go and purchase the course. This is the course. You buy it, and then immediately we will be sending you not just the videos, but also the invitation to come to the class tomorrow. Please check my access to the groups. I don't have access since, okay, so we will take care of that. You're welcome, Oscar, and you're welcome, Abel. So rest of the team here, folks, you got to let me know if something is bothering you. Please let me know if we could do it, make it better for you. The goal, the intention here is when you get out of this course, this time that you have spent would be worth, you know, so I want you to get the best out of this training, and I promise you nothing but the best. By the time you get out of this training, you will have so much of confidence that you cannot even believe that what this 8 classes has done to you. I assure you, I promise you, we'll do our best, and you will be an expert of Selenium. That is a guarantee. All right, with that, I'll let you go. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.